So I'm wanting to make a garden bench, and as you can see, I've got the frame, and I have two of these, and they're cast iron, and they're in a bit of a rough shape, so I'm going to cut off all the old fasteners, clean it up, paint it, and then put a new seat and back on it, and that'll be about it. So the first thing is to remove these old fasteners, so I'll just cut them off pretty much, but these ones here are rusted in place, so there'll be a bit more work to get out. So I've removed all the old bolts, and now I just need to attack the entire thing with a wire brush. This is going to take a while. You likely can't tell much of a difference, but this one is done. And it is very dusty. So the next thing is I'm going to take it round to the air compressor and just shoot at it with compressed air, and that'll get most of the dust off. Now that I've finished the first frame, I can go to the checklist, and it says, okay. For the bench I'm going to be using this paint, and it is black, because black. I've also made some little blocks of wood with a pin nail sticking up, and this means the piece can sit on top of the pin nail and be lifted off the ground, so the whole thing can be painted, but it also won't leave any large lines or spots or anything where the paint sticks to the wood, so we'll be using these. Set it down this way. And this is where my wee spacer blockies come in. I can sit on there. So I fetched this big massive piece, and it's 4.8 meters, so I'm going to cut it in half and make it 2.4 meters, and for that I'll get two pieces, 1, 2 for the bottom of the bench, and then I'm going to use a decking board for the back. So let's chop her up. These three pieces are going to be the pieces for these two are the bottom and this one's the back, and they're a bit rough at the moment, so I'm going to sand them down and then I'll stain them. So I've just finished sanding the one of three, and it does look really wavy, but that's alright. The intent isn't as much to clean it up, but mostly just to smooth it out. But I just wanted to show you up here, I found this really nice grain pattern. It's not structurally good probably, but there's some nice cracks, and I just find that really nice looking. still have to do 120 grit. Hold on. So I did an Instagram poll to see what colour I should paint the bench, and it is completely tied up, which is really funny, but due to this not being democracy, I'm going to choose dark brown because I like the look of it. Also because poo and diarrhea aren't really good colours. Also, I actually wasn't joking about the poo and diarrhea. So this is the dog poo, this is the dog diarrhea, and this is the dark brown, which is the one I've decided to go with. It's quite late in the evening and I don't want to get dew all over these lovely soft pieces of wood, so I'm going to stain them indoors, and they're 2.4 metres and they fit not too bad. There's a bit of room around them. So I'll paint them, flip them over, paint the sides and the top, and then I'll come back tomorrow morning and hopefully they'll be dry. So this is what I'm going to be using. Creotech Dark Brown Oil-Based Timber Treatment. I suppose it's kind of a stain sort of thing, but it's oil-based, which is really good because normally stains are rubbish. Now I'll need to flip them over, do along the sides, and then do the faces. So I've finished all the staining now, and just need to go to sleep and come back in the morning and it should be dry. 20 hours after the first coat of oily stuff, it still's a bit damp, not fully dry, but I have got the second coat of paint finished on these now. So that's these all done up. I just have to denib them a bit, and then once the planks have dried, then I can do the second coat. It's the second day of these planks drying now. We're coming up on 48 hours. And they still are a tiny bit damp, and that is actually a really good sign because it means it's really thick oil and it's taken ages to soak in, which means it'll penetrate deep, which means long lasting protection. 8 days, it is finally dry. I've done all the maths and I've ended up with this really detailed drawing, and I am very proud of myself because it's very accurate. So this is what if you're looking bird's eye down on the metal bench piece, this is what you'll see. And I've done all the maths and figured out where to place the two beams, and now I really just need to drill all the holes using this as a guide. This is how the bolts are going to be mounted in the actual bench, with a countersunk hole and then a big washer like this. So the last thing now is just to mark up all the pieces. With the two bottom pieces fitted and attached together, I now have something really sturdy and which isn't going to rock. So now I can fit the back. So I've got the back set in with a couple of clamps just holding it, and now I can just mark where the holes need to go. As you can see, the bolts here are sticking out quite a bit, so I'm going to come now with the angle grinder and just chop off. So here you have it, all done and dusted, and it's very nice if I say so myself, and it's really good and sturdy. Not going to be breaking anytime soon, and it's nice and comfortable. You can recline at quite an angle, and you can even lie down if you want. It's long enough. It is in fact 2.4 meters, and these bolt heads stick out a bit, but that's alright because they're coach bolts that have nice smooth heads, and these ones are countersunk, so you don't catch on them. And that's pretty much it, except for one thing. I actually messed up at a point. So if you notice here, the ends are perfectly in line, as they should be, but they weren't like that. So when I did the original cuts, they didn't fit, and there wasn't a nice gap here. It was tied up against each other. So somehow I mismeasured. So I redid all that, and you can actually see here the old holes. So that's it for this one. If you want, I do other different things. I make things, I repair things, fix things, all that sorts of stuff. And if you want, you can check some of it out here.